This week on the Bill Was podcast, I have some questions for Stephen all about a new game that he's been playing.
Yeah, this is a lovely little indie title called Ball Pit.
So come and join us.
In the pit with the balls.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
We are doing a bit more of a classic episode today, taking you back to the old school Beyond Worlds, and doing a video game review.
Yeah, I haven't done one of these in a while.
No, not since Wilds, I don't think.
No, jeez.
No,
Yeah,
because I don't think we ever did one for any of the other multiplayer stuff we played. Oh, maybe Space Marine. I don't know.
But yeah, I think we did a bit on Space Marine. I don't think we did a lot.
No.
I think it might have been a short one, but
yeah, it's always a fun one when it's a game that I haven't played. So I like asking questions.
Yeah, it's like I like these ones. Not that I don't like doing the other ones, but lets me talk about stuff for a little bit.
So before we get into it, we're just going to front load this a little bit, just with what's going to be happening with Beyond Worlds over the next month, sort of end of November through December. It's the end of the year, and so with that, it'd be really fun. We thought to do some Game of the Year stuff, so it might be a case where we look at Game of the Year, the big event that there was, see what we think of that. Have our own little Game of the Year, Book of the Year, maybe anime/TV show. Maybe combine them. I haven't watched that many TV shows, so that's why I can't have TV show on its own.
Yeah, I don't think I could have anime on its own.
Yeah, see, that's why I thought, see, big brain. Smash them together. I've been watching a lot of anime this year. But yeah, so that's what we got to look forward to. Keep your eye out for those videos that will be upcoming alongside our obvious book club and things like that, which we'll do as well. We're streaming Final Fantasy 14 at the moment. We just did our level 30 quests.
I am warrior, you are monk.
I am
just about to go into a dungeon as well. That was cool.
Oh yeah, so
got that to look forward to. Or that might be out before this. Yeah, I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah,
but
depends what we play next.
True.
But to get into this week's episode, the game that you're going to be sort of talking about is
Ball Pit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, but I don't know if it's Ball Pit or Ball X Pit. If it's like you don't just say the X like with animes, even though I'd still say Spy X Family. But
when I've heard other people talking about it, it has been Ball Pit.
Okay, cool.
So I think that's
Ball times Pit. So
yeah. Just before we get into sort of the meat and potatoes, what did you play it on? How much did you pay for it?
I played it on PS5. I got it for $11.99. I'm pretty sure.
Nice.
Yeah, I've played 41 hours of it.
I was going to ask you how many hours. So,
like, it kept me entertained for a good while. I mean, some of that is like auto run because I'll get into a bit later, but there's a way to auto run, and like leaving it on. So I'd say maybe like 5-6 hours of that is not playing, and then like maybe another 5 is autoplay. But so I guess 30 hours maybe.
Yeah, and
solid play.
Autoplay is still a way of playing the game, right? It's just not
because you can still lose.
But yeah,
it's a bit more complicated. Well, it's not, but it sort of is a bit more complicated than just autoplay because it's a bit more of a more complicated game than what would normally have an autoplay.
Well, it sounds like the sort of money that you're putting in, you're getting a lot out of it. That's the gist of it.
100%. It's super duper worth the money. Easily. Probably like pound to hour is probably the most I've put into a game this year. If you think realistically think about it. Other games are like 70 quid and you finish in less than 70 hours. That annoys me.
We each have our own way of valuing games and versus time and all this sort of
thing. Absolutely. But I think that it's just something that
fine, man.
I think about.
You're allowed to have your quirks.
Yeah, but
And yeah, a lot of people agree with you, man. You're not alone in your point. Luckily, as someone who spends silly money on games, doesn't really bother
yeah,
me. I
you're
don't.
just
I get
it.
0 hours out of most of them. So,
But
um,
it's just your thing. But like, bro, there's plenty of things that we got 0 hours. And we just got how many gunpla we got. What's the
yeah.
backlog? So some things you just get for things.
To get back to Ball Pit. So for people who maybe, maybe I've heard of that game. What's this game? In a sentence or two, to try it as succinctly as you can.
So
Describe Ball Pit
it
to someone who doesn't
is
know what it is.
a roguelite brick break bullet hell. I would say that's its genre mix. And it's just it's a 2D vertical shooter sort of thing. And you got enemies coming down from the top of the screen. You're at the bottom with one character or two shooting them with balls. And yeah, there's a tiny story that's with it, but not massive. Um, it's just like the intro. I think it was a meteor hits, and it creates this massive crater. Turns out there's shit in the crater. It's a bit like Made in Abyss, or
Oh, nice.
um, and yeah, you go down the levels and you level up your lift to go down further levels. You gotta like complete each one with more and more characters to get enough things to level up your lift.
Um, so there's obviously quite a strong sense of progression. Then lots of different things to be aiming for. You have platinum this game. How long did it take you? Do you think to have a playthrough to finish it? How long can someone spend minimum to see start to finish?
I mean, think really if you followed. Actually, no, because you do sort of have to get all the characters to be able to do crazy stuff. But just to complete it, you could do it in like 10 hours easily,
Okay,
probably less. Like, there's probably people that could speed run this game, but it does get astronomically easier few hours in. And once you've got all the characters and all like the special buildings, because it's a little bit more than just the shooty thing. There's a little like I'd say a rest area, I guess, and it's you get like a patch of ground which you can build your little village attached to your lift on, um, and as you go through each floor, the first time there's one of the collectibles is 15 different blueprints, which will be something for your upstairs area.
okay.
Um, and you got to build each building, and each building can do something, um, or unlock a character. Yeah,
So that's like the gameplay loop. You go
yeah,
into the dungeon to get blueprints and money, I assume, to come back, spend those resources, to go back into the dungeon but stronger to get more
yeah.
and rinse repeat.
So the roguelike loop is there, and you there's a little farm you can build off on the side, and there's like a harvest mechanics. You can in harvest mode, you can shoot your villagers that aren't associated with a building into the space, and if they hit your like resource gathering things, or you'll get like some grain, some stone, or some wood, which you can then use to build or upgrade other buildings.
Nice. You sort of mentioned the graphics a bit. Is it completely 2D? Is it isometric? Is there 3D to it?
I mean, there's shadows, but I would say it's mainly 2D. But it's not. It's fine. All the sprites are cool. I mean, most of the time you're just blowing up some bricks. I mean, they're enemies, so they can hurt you, but yeah, you don't really pay attention. So like, it's got to be. The thing is, it's got to be low res because otherwise it can crash your game. It can crash your
Oh, fine.
console, or I don't know about console. It hasn't ever crashed on me, but I've seen streamers, or like not streamers, YouTube videos where I'm fighting some of these crazy builds that you can do. Like, they'll get into it and their game will die. Like, once you get to the end of a level, and if you're on like new game 3, say, and you you've upgraded a bunch of your infinite upgrade buildings to just upgrade your stats continuously. They've got to do so many damage ticks and like are doing so many to so many enemies on the screen that the game just is like, nah, bye.
Crashes.
Yeah. So it can get like that. It's cool.
Does it have a story behind it, or is it mainly these sort of like action moments?
There's no like after the intro and you're introduced to the area, the story just stops and it's just gameplay really. I mean, you can sort of see at the end there's a tiny bit is but it's not like there's nothing to connect the start and the end. It's just gameplay end.
Okay.
Like each level's got a different design, but unless I miss something, like there's nothing connecting the levels, um, or like who you find further down the dungeon. I mean, towards the end, the second to last level is like angels, so it's a little bit Dante's Inferno ish, I guess, with it's traveling through different levels of Blair to get to heaven and then somewhere else, and then the void, which is the final place. But that was space, which was in the pit.
Space is inside all of us. Um, you mentioned collecting characters. Did anyone really stand out to you?
There's a couple. Once you figure out a trick, which I actually sort of figured out a little bit early. There's a guy. So each character starts with a different ball, and all the balls do different nutty things. And when I first unlocked the character, I can't remember what they're called. I think they might be the embedded. So they've all got these all wacky names, and they're all the arts are like kind of Courage the Cowardly Dog ish,
Oh,
but a bit
sick.
more shaded, a tiny bit. I think if you saw it, I think you kind of get what I mean. Um, it's it's not, but it's there. That's the closest thing I can think to it. But yeah, I think it's the embedded, and it starts with a ghost ball. And its special thing is it doesn't shoot baby balls, only the main balls. So like a ghost ball is a main ball, and baby balls are just tiny balls that bounce everywhere. Some balls can make baby balls. Some people shoot baby balls, and the main balls. Some people don't shoot baby balls. So the guy with ghosts. So you would shoot two ghost balls, and then they would bounce up, blah, 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 and bounce back to you. When I first unlocked him, I was like, oh damn, two of them, because I'd seen some builds before I'd bought it, because I was like, that's why I bought it, because it looked nuts. Um, I'd never really seen, because I'd watched a streamer or two, not like someone that actually just plays this now exclusively. I'd never seen them use that person, and I was just thought that seems kind of like it's gonna be OP, and now like the crazy builds at the end, you use that guy, and I was quite happy that I knew that they'd be all right. That was good.
Nice.
They were cool. There's a sweet one that's got like a shield, um, and later on in one of the buildings you get lets you start with two characters. You can choose to start with one if you want, but it's obviously better to have two because you'll have both their starting balls and you shoot with like both of their styles.
Okay.
See, each person's got a different style of shooting. Um, and there's a guy that's got a shield, and if you pair him with there's someone that is a pair, and they shoot like opposite to each other. And if you pair that with the shield guy, that happens, and you can just stand right up to stuff. And every time it bounces off the shield, the damage multiplies by 100%. So you just stand there going, which it just is very funny. There's like passives that you can get that if you're standing close to stuff, you'll do damage to it and things like that. So you just all pile it all up on top and you just see number two.
They
It's
go
funny.
up. What about the balls? Because you mentioned those. I guess you've shown some pretty mad combinations on videos.
Yeah, that's not even. I'll tell you about the one that I did before I started. I fused. Okay, I started out with the ghost guy and the a vampire guy. So the reason you start with the ghost guy obviously is because it shoots the two balls, but the ghost ball is something that will travel through all the enemies and bounce to the back of the screen and then backwards. All other balls will just like, unless it says it will do it, it will just bounce to the enemy and then back. So when you pair the ghost person with someone, if you can make the ghost ball, instead of travel through everything, destroy itself, you will constantly shoot the second ball in your loadout, because instead of having to wait for the ghost ball to travel back to you to shoot everything
Yeah.
again, it just destroys and you just keep going. Blah, 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 blah. So that's the starting thing with that. So that's why you have the ghost guy, and then because you're shooting two of the ball, on top of whatever the second person's thing is, it it all stacks up funny, and you do crazy stuff. So the vampire, it kind of is a bit self-explanatory. It bounces up into something. It has a chance to do healing damage. So it won't always heal you, but I think it's like a 4% chance, and then it goes up as you level it up to 3. And then I got a charm ball. I can't remember what. Oh, charm. It will hit and damage the enemy, and then it has a chance to make it turn around and start going back up the screen to attack the things behind it. And a dark ball, which is just like dark damage, is just a very, very strong ball. And so I fused my. Once you've got balls in the game, you can like evolve them and fuse them together.
Okay.
So I evolved my vampire ball with the charm ball, which made a succubus ball. A succubus ball, when you hit a charmed enemy, you heal. And then I grabbed myself another charm ball and an egg sack and another vampire. An egg sack is a ball that when it hits an enemy, it bursts into baby balls. I fused the vampire ball and the egg sacs to become mosquitoes. Mosquitoes are nuts. And then I fused the dark ball that I had at the beginning with another charm ball to make an incubus. So I had succubus and incubus and some mosquitoes. Incubus, I can't remember what that does because I don't get that one very often. I haven't done this combo before. Um, but the mosquitoes basically turn your ball into mosquitoes, and they'll just like zoom off into the map and start poking enemies. And after I got everything to level 3, fuse. No, I evolve the incubus and the succubus to become Satan. So I got Satan on my side, which is always a good thing. And then after that, got Satan to level 3, and I fused the mosquitoes and Satan. Satan is kind of mad. It charms and burns enemies, and it's just damage. It's just everywhere. But fusing is different to evolving. If you fuse two things together, it gets both the properties instead of becoming something new. So I had mosquitoes with Satan power, and basically there's this passive you can get, which is a XP font stone thing, and it travels down with the enemies. But the more you hit it, the it will just drop XP, but it can't die apart from to like instant kill effects. Um, and if you shoot the mosquitoes into this pillar, the mosquitoes think it's an enemy, and when the mosquito ball explodes, that's when all the mosquitoes come out. And so
Yeah.
basically you just stand there constantly machine gunning this mosquito ball, and there's just 1,000 Satan mosquitoes on the screen, just burning and bleeding, and yeah, and it's crazy.
Yeah, it sounds pretty nuts.
Yeah, yeah, that was fun.
Are those permanent upgrades? Because obviously with the
Just
roguelite,
just
or
for
just for the run.
once you've unlocked them, so as you're going and you unlock the characters, you unlock new. Well, you unlock the characters, and that'll unlock the ball that. Sometimes that'll unlock the ball that the character can fire. And then you unlock other balls as you go down the dungeon. But yeah, this is after. Obviously, I'm only on New Game Plus. But once you're on New Game Plus, you just carry on with everything. You don't start with like loads of the crazy balls. You start with a guy that has a bleed ball, for example. He's the very first one, and then you get a guy that has a burn ball. but then there's like freeze. There's all the basic ones like freeze, burn, dark, brood mother, which is like a spidery thing, wind, poison, the egg sac thing, a cell. They some of them do pretty self-explanatory things. As the cell just like multiplies itself when it hits an enemy up to like 8 of itself, then we'll come back. Um, there's 2 lasers. There's vertical laser and horizontal laser. Um, and then there's some nuts passives as well. The passives aren't as cool, but there's some passives that you can fuse, evolve together as well. But you gotta have specific ones for that. But it's not endless, but it's almost endless what you can do there. It'd be nice if they did have just like an endless mode. That'd be fun.
So that's the next question I was going to ask. Now that you've finished it, what is left to do? Is there any reason to play it other than just for the thrill of the game?
I mean, not there isn't, no, not yet. There's no updates that have added anything to the game, to my knowledge. But I mean,
It's
I
pretty fresh.
yeah, I mean, to my knowledge, it is infinite New Game Plus. So I've seen people are on like New Game Plus 9. I don't know if it keeps on going, but you can, and that obviously just ups the difficulty. But then you can also um, do each of the floors on faster modes. So normal of each floor is like it's a 15-minute game. Fast is 12, fast plus is 10 or 9 or something like that. And it just makes the enemies come down faster. So you get New Game Plus to make them tougher, but then fast if you want to try and if you think you can nullify it. But
It sounds like it'd make a really good handheld game,
yeah, it
especially with
really
that
would.
time thing.
Yeah,
And you've got 15 minutes to just whap out your phone or your Switch or whatever.
yeah. Oh, it might be on Switch.
Yeah, to be fair, I haven't actually looked. It probably is.
It wouldn't surprise me.
Maybe I'll look into that. Because, yeah, it's definitely one that I've been curious about. So I've really wanted to ask you about it. Uh, and very impressed with your platinum. Again, I think I've mentioned it a couple of times now, but I'm very impressed. Didn't take you very long. Was there a particularly hard trophy in there? Because generally you said they were
It was pretty
straightforward.
simple. Yeah, a couple of the fusion ones, um, because you have to. It's RNG what like passives and balls you get. So there's a couple of balls that are quite tough to get. All the balls to that you need to get the final one is quite tough. Because it's RNG dependent. So that if you get unlucky, I was quite lucky. I got that pretty early. But you could not get it technically because it's RNG what you get. You could improve your chances definitely, but it's not. You wouldn't not get it. I don't think I know have seen any like videos where anyone hasn't got it. Um, but then there's one passive which was a little bit annoying to get because you need there's one passive there are 4 daggers that increase your crit chance or damage dependent on where your balls are firing from. So left, right, up, and down. And you can evolve those together to make a quad sword thingy, which it just improves your crit just as flat. But it gets rid of 3 other passives, so it's only 1 slot because you can only have up to once everything is upgraded, you can only have a maximum of 5 balls and 5 passives on a run.
It are those 5 passives, those 5 balls you've got. Can you change them during a run, or once they
Apart
do you set them
from
pre?
apart from evolving or fusing them, no, there's no way to delete.
But you can evolve them and fuse them.
Yeah, so it almost everything can be fused unless it's already been fused, but not everything can evolve together. A lot of things can evolve together. Like there's a lot of things that are quite straightforward. So like you got the ice ball and a laser ball.
I say that.
Yep. Um, poison and anything anything that goes with a laser. You're like, oh yeah, cool, that'll go with a laser. and make a cooler laser. Um, you can make a nuke.
Does it just do you just pause the gameplay? Is that how you do it? You like right, or do you get to a point in the floor where you fuse?
No. So as you kill enemies, obviously you get like XP drops. You have to collect those, otherwise you don't level up. Um, and when every time you level up, you can either upgrade a ball, level up a
Okay.
ball, not yeah, get a new ball, level up a ball, get a new passive, upgrade a passive. You can re-roll for gold that you collect during the run. And yeah, sorry, where were we going with this?
Um.
Oh,
Oh,
is there a
really?
point? And so yeah, once an item is level 3, then it can fuse or evolve.
Yes.
And an enemy will randomly drop something called a fusion reactor, and you pick that up, and that will let you either evolve, fuse, or do fission. And if you do fission, it will upgrade. Um, it starts between 1 and 5 of your items, so it will roll, and you'll either upgrade that many items.
And are your so you're talking about leveling up your character? Is that run specific? Because it does vary on lots of different roguelites. Sometimes you can level up during only a run, and sometimes you keep levels, but you lose all your items. Is this like you keep your items and lose your
You
level?
lose you lose all your balls and you lose all your levels once you've finished the run. So every run you start at level level 1, but some of the buildings will affect how the run starts. So there's a building which increases the level of your starting ball by 1, and then when you upgrade it, it starts you well. So you start at level 2 instead of level 1, and then level 3 instead of level 2. And there's another building which will do make your second character do that. Another building which will make your first passive be level 3. Um,
Okay.
so it does get easier to do stuff. Because there's another building which will, when you pick up level up and you pick a new ball or passive, it will start at level 2 instead of level 1. So you've only got
Nice.
to upgrade it once. So there are lots of little nuances that make the start of the run easier, which make it I, arguably arguably more fun like towards the end once you've got everything. Is a lot more fun. It is fun grinding to it because you're like, oh, got to unlock stuff, and then once everything's unlocked, it's like, oh, I've got all this stuff, um, sort of thing.
Does you sort of spoke again then about the buildings? When it comes to the city building, does placement matter, or can you just sort of chuck it anywhere and it's like whatever? If you really aren't interested in that, if you just want to fight with balls,
um, I think, I mean, placement didn't matter to me apart from like the efficiency part of my brain that was like, there is technically buildings that affect other buildings, um and you have to like level up all the characters to level 10 to get all the buildings to their maximum level. So you probably really wouldn't need it until new game plus, maybe not plus even. You could probably get it through new game +1 without it. There's a character that I've mentioned at the start that plays for you, yeah. Well, sorry, I'm gonna preface this. Once you beat every level, you can build a totem for that level. The more character, that totem will give you a stat, not a big increment, but that if you every person that you beat that level with, it will uptick that stat a bit, so you get a little bit extra. I used the guy that auto plays once I had double character to basically just run everybody through uh, all the early levels. The people that I don't play, there's some characters which I don't like the play style of, so I wouldn't really play those. But I used him to get them all through those and level them up. You have to do each level with each person to get all the trophies. So that's what I mean. Like he did some of those. Like he got me some of those trophies just because he will play the game and pick all your upgrades for you.
oh nice.
Um, so it can go well and it can go badly. But there's also another fun one which pairs super well with him, there's a character which turns the game turn-based.
Uh,
So if you pair those together, that I think is really good. So I use them to just like clear extras, so I can have the character clears and then get those little stat bonuses. So there's other things you can do. Uh, I did the buildings together just purely because the efficiency part of my brain was, oh well, I might as well.
it
It's not particularly
sounds.
hard to do either. It took 5 minutes. The most annoying thing was because I had just slapped everything everywhere. I then had to find what each one was.
Yeah, that's always annoying.
Yeah,
So
no,
I
but
guess, yeah, if you've got a good plan, it won't hurt. But no, you can
yeah,
get through it.
no, yeah, easy, easy.
And it does sound like you really enjoyed the game. You sing its praises, so that's really really
Yeah,
cool.
uh, for 12
How?
quid, I couldn't recommend it more.
Because I was gonna say, now that you're done, done. Now that you've got the platinum, now that you've played a lot of hours, can you see yourself just going back to it here and there for a bit of fun? Will
Oh,
you go back
definitely.
to it for updates? How do you think it would?
Both,
Nice.
for fun and for updates. I think they probably would add more floors. I would hope, because there's only 10 floors at the moment, and of course you can just new game plus, but it's not hard to create some new 2D sprites. I'm sure. Um, there might be some new balls, but then as well it could be tough to, I don't know. I'm not a game developer. I'm not even going to try and think about those things.
No.
Yeah, new balls, new characters. It could be. There's plenty they could do, and if the game was 12 quid, I'm thinking if it's going to be a paid update, it will probably be like £2 or £3,
Yeah.
maybe five, and I would be happy paying 5 quid for an update because if I play that another 5 hours, then that's
Would.
the bare minimum of done. Cool. And I will play it for more than 5 hours because there'll be new combinations of new combinations of new combinations. Because even if it's just a couple new characters and a few new balls, that's a lot of new stuff to make.
Um, with that in mind, how much you are enjoying the thought of going back to it, do you think that maybe the trophies on this game were a bit easy, and that if there'd have been some, for example, finish new game plus, that would have been more of a drive to play, or do you think you like the fact it was consynced and that you could get it done with only one playthrough?
I mean, I don't really think about it that way. I don't think I just noticed that most of them were simple. I was like, oh, okay. Like I got a good chunk into it. I was like, I wonder what the plat is. When I saw it was simple, that just was like, oh, then definitely. I can get why you asked the question though, because like platinuming it, you think like, oh, what's it? But I don't need though because the game gives such the dopamine hit. I don't need the trophies to be like, yeah, cool, I've done the extra. Now it's just that the trophies were an extra to the game, not the other way around.
Yeah. Well, just an
Or
example, because like I would have never played Miles Morales Spider Man. You had to play that through twice to get the platinum. There is no world in which I'd have played that game through twice. Not because I hated it. I just wouldn't. I don't play games twice, especially once after I finish it and it's the same game,
especially if
just
there's
harder.
unskippable cutscenes as well.
No, you could skip a lot in that game. So
Oh,
there
okay.
was it was mainly just go to this point, skip, 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 go to this point, skip. It took me a few like less than 5 hours. It was super fast, maybe 2 or 3. It was an evening's work, but I would have never done. So sometimes I appreciate a platinum or a trophy because it pushes me to do something that I would never be bothered to do, but I bothered enough to do it. Whereas in this situation, for example, if there was that platinum for do like the last trophy was do new game plus, I would do it. Whereas
But
if it
yeah,
wasn't, I wouldn't. I once I've got that platinum, I feel like well, I'm done. If the game is, I'm done. I
I
can
think
step
because
back. I've done it all.
this game doesn't offer you like unlimited choices, obviously, but I think because the choices are so varied, you can like play so many different styles. Like that it does sort of keep you a little bit invested. And I think because all the trophies were like bronzes, I think there was like maybe one silver and the platinum, and like 63 and 60 something bronze. There was 64 trophies, and like 60 of them were bronze. Like,
Well, yeah, it doesn't always mean it's going to be easy, does
no.
it? But generally speaking.
But the thing, like doing each level with each character, that's a bit, because some of the characters, like there's a jester girl, the Harlequin, obviously. They, instead of shooting their balls, they lob them in an arc and they like bounce, then bounce, bounce, bounce. It's kind of good a bit, but it was annoying because I just like shooting the balls,
Yeah, you have
and
to think
because you
about it.
got aim it a little bit differently. Like, yeah, when you're just playing shooting up, you can just have the aim circle is just at the end, because or it's where the enemies are. But sometimes if you've cleared like a left tunnel, you then got to arc it round and make it shoot in a way that it's going to bounce onto. It was annoying. There's another guy, a mad professor. He starts with the light ball, which is kind of once it's fused with something, it's good. Or once it's evolved with something, it's good. But on its own, it just like blinds enemies and doesn't do very much damage. And you can sort of take advantage of this and do some fun builds. But other, and he's not one you unlock till later, to be fair. But he his balls are affected by gravity at the top of the screen. So you throw them, and then they bounce, and just put bounce at the top instead of coming back to you. Um, and until they break through and get to the back, they don't come. So if anything gets past, you don't have anything to shoot.
Yeah,
And yeah, so that, I mean, again, you can take advantage of that playstyle, but again, if you use that fountain thing that you shoot the mosquitoes into, if you just bounce, if you can fuse light with lightning to make flash, and you can fuse iron with the bleed to make hemorrhage, and if you then fuse flash and hemorrhage together, flash is an screen wide AOE, and hemorrhage deals 20% of the enemy's max HP after a certain amount of bleed stacks. If you get the fountain and then just bounce the ball on the fountain and you get it aimed right, it just goes blah, 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 and it flash bleeds the whole screen just constantly. That's quite funny. But again, setup. Like at the beginning, on early levels, he's a bit annoying when he's low level.
it's a game with a lot going on. A lot going on.
Yeah, see, there's so many things that you can do that I think even after getting the platinum, I'm just like, oh, that, like, I still watch the YouTubers and I'm like, oh, that looks like a fun build. I want to try that.
I want to try it out. Well, I'm
There's so
super
many
glad
different
you
color
enjoyed it.
laser battles I haven't tried. Yeah. So there's like 4, 5 different color lasers, so I can try another one.
Make a laser show.
Yeah.
So I think we can safely say that game comes highly recommended from Stephen there.
Yeah, honestly, solid. At least 9 out of 10.
If you like this sort of content, do let us know down in the comments. If you want to be shouted out, let us know down in the
Hi,
comments, and
Keith.
we'll do that. And yeah, you're all very much appreciated. Come back, join us for our of the year podcasts that are coming forward, and some book clubs. We're currently reading Redwall, nearly finished.
Oh, I'm about 60%. So I got distracted reading Toriko, and now I'm only like 50 chapters away from the end of Toriko. So yeah, I'll get that done and I'll smash out the rest of Red Bull.
Well, until next time, I've been Beyond Joe.
And I'm Steven.
Thank you for joining us.
In the pit with the balls.